All right, so
What's the crack?
had a long weekend.
What's
can
the
barely
crack indeed?
speak. Can barely speak, but it's what 10 o'clock in the morning now on Monday morning after the Blackpool Magic Convention,
Yeah.
and we have some thoughts. What do you think?
Yeah, I thought it was a really good convention. Like it's huge, and there's a lot of stuff where people complained of like queues and stuff last year and all that sort of stuff that seemed to just disappear this year.
Yeah.
A lot of the venue halls were much bigger, like the Circle Hall, which has been used just for shows previously, is now open to lectures, and like even for the ones you'd look and go, "Oh, I'm never getting into this." You get in and you'd have a great seat. So
Yeah,
the place
yeah,
was huge.
I definitely felt like last year there was way more queues, way more.
Yeah.
But I think Russ Stevens and the team have just earned out all of that, and I think staggering everything has really made a huge difference. Unfortunately, you can't get to everything, but it's nice you can pick and choose because obviously the different categories of Magic, and you can go to what you really want instead of kind of feeling forced to go to some other lecture. So that was amazing.
Or worse, people were queuing for an hour only to be shut. Turned away at the front door because it's shut because it's full.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and they're repeating lectures as well. A lot of people did two
Oh
lectures.
yeah,
which is
two
really,
lectures. So if you miss the first one, you see the second one.
Yeah, and it would same with the shows and stuff. So yeah, I thought it was just really well organized. And some things I love about the Black Magic Convention is that like there's always people bitching online and stuff, which is insane considering all the hard work that people are doing in this thing. But like whenever they hear stuff that they go, actually, that's a good point. They just fix it the next year.
Yeah.
So it's even like I even thought this year the one competition had so much more variety in act styles than they had in the previous one competition, where it was mainly a lot of manipulation acts and that
without
sort of
being
stuff.
cliche, like everyone in that act was a winner. Like they were incredible. Like
Oh, the
they're
standard.
yeah, it's just amazing. Like and to see the different kinds of category in one show too. That's great for like younger magicians that maybe don't know where they are in Magic yet. You know what I mean? They don't know what kind of magician they want to be. So I think that kind of thing and the team all putting that together, I think that's great for like younger members and
Absolutely.
yeah.
Just as a testament to all of that, there's how many magicians show up to this thing? Like
It's like
5,000 or something. It doesn't feel it though, because
And three.
yeah, because again, they took into account last year that there were so many people just standing around not doing anything because there was nothing going on or it was full. So they organized it in such a way this year that it just made it possible for you to do as much as you could possibly do. Squeeze it into just the 3 days that you have to get it done.
Yeah, because that's usually like the dealer stands and stuff, because there's so much on that you could almost feel when a lecture starts because everything just goes whoosh.
Oh yeah. It was like waves and things coming in. I was, for those that don't know, I was in dealer hall this year, and it felt lighter, but not necessarily because there was less people. It just felt like there was less congestion. There was less clumping, less people just standing around with nothing to do, just looking at magic that they're not going to buy.
Yeah.
It's they had an opportunity to go to the different rooms to experience different things, and then in between all of that, they had a chance to properly do the dealer circuit.
Yeah.
They had a chance to actually look and see what they wanted to buy and take the time and not feel so stuffed and rushed. Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cooker.
Because it's like last year I even found like you'd be looking at some dealer stands and you'd go, "Oh, I'll go over. Oh, it's jammed. I'll go over. Oh, it's jammed." And you're like,
I mean, O'Brien Magic was like that the whole week. It was packed.
Oh yeah. We kept trying to say hi to you, and we're like, "Is he there?" Or
it was the same with Matt.
See over back to everyone's head.
The same with Matt or Craig, whatever. You're walking past and they're in by this mode, and you just like give them away, but you can't stop and talk to them because it's just it is a free for all. And when there seems like a scarcity and a trick, and everyone's talking about that trick, it's just crazy.
Speaking of tricks in the dealer hall, what was the trick of the convention? You think? What was everyone buzzing about?
A few.
I thought the thing, Jonathan Goodwin's dartboard, we got a lot of buzz because basically the trick is that they spin a dartboard. You name a number, you throw a dart, you hit the number
while it's
spinning, and you're doing it yourself. It was like I did it, you did it. It just feels
only an escape artist kind of daredevil thinking like Jonathan would be able to come up with something like that, and it was brilliant, And to talk to him about it as well, and it was great. And then there was the Ouija board as well.
Yeah, there's the Ouija board, which is cool, and there was a chair that you could make stuff appear. So they have a teddy bear. You might see that video online and stuff. There's a teddy bear just bang out, which is brilliant. But like they were all the things that were like the thousands and that sort of stuff.
Sure.
There's a lot of really good stuff that people are picking up about that were quite cheap. One of my favorite things was Modern Oracle by Chris Rawlins, and I only picked that up yesterday. I hadn't heard about it and stuff again because his stand was busy, and then it's Sunday afternoon. I was like, Thank you.
It's like a three-phase routine contained to like this.
Yeah,
it was
100%.
just it was
That's
excellent. Really, really
Yeah,
good.
that was really cool. But it seemed like there was the issue as well. There wasn't really so much like a trick of the convention. It's like there was a trick for different people and different performance styles.
That's true. Every year, I feel like there's one or two that are kind of competing, and this year it felt like more variety of things.
Every time I asked someone, they'd be like, "Oh, I got this," and it would be like perfect for them.
The wine glass with the ring on it. People were talking
Incredible,
about.
yeah, Trust Magic.
Yeah, a lot of Ninja Plus, of course. That was the trick of the convention.
Amazing.
Matthew Garrett.
So good.
I did get paid at all by Ninja Plus to make
I did,
that.
but yeah.
So what was your favorite lecture and then your favorite show?
I think like lecture wise, I really enjoyed the Jonathan Goodwin talk.
Yeah.
He was talking about a lot of behind the scenes stuff that goes into TV stuff, and even he was saying like he doesn't have to lecture a lot because when people look at him, they don't necessarily think magic. But he was saying even though his stuff is dangerous, there's a lot of magic that goes into the techniques, and that's like he's even talking about where he did the old video when iron burned through a sheet onto his chest. And he's like, irons don't burn through sheets. It's not how it works. So it's like he was going through all that sort of stuff, which is really cool just to get that sort of insight into even how like crossbow tricks work and all that sort of stuff.
I think because he was so open as well about being like a magician or thinking like a magician, and then working with people like Ali and all the guys in Channel 4 and Pete and all those back in the day and Monkey Magic and all that. You knew he was around that environment, so he was bringing his escapology knowledge to their magic, and that's why he was creating this kind of unique thing. But yeah, what a great guy, and it was just amazing to hear his honest and open story, and it was great.
Which I think is a good moral lesson too. You know, if your mind is closed and you're not taking feedback from other people, especially people that know what they're talking about,
sure,
right? You're not going to improve.
Yeah.
Even if it's something that you don't want to hear, you know, you take it into consideration. You may or may not make the adjustment. You make that call yourself.
Yeah.
But at least you have that knowledge now that, you know, it maybe shouldn't be this way. Maybe you want to try some other way, and then you try it, and then next thing you know, oh man, I should have been doing this years ago.
Absolutely. Like you can only take criticism really from people on the same par or above. You know, otherwise it's just bitchiness, really.
speaking of which, favorite show now?
Oh yeah, favorite show. I really liked the Zach Meyer show last night. It was literally the last thing we saw. It was like 11:30, 12 last night.
Yeah.
And I really liked that show because it had such an emotional journey and an arc to it. So I thought that was a really good show. But I thought the first night's gala show was on the Friday night. That was brilliant. So what about you?
Yeah, Rick Thomas, I think, just to see him, just, you know, it's one of those legendary characters. And I actually saw Blackpool Magic mention a picture this morning of him talking to Hans Flock outside the show. And it was just like, you're a legend, you're a legend, you're a legend. And I think
there was loads of
just
like huge magicians just wandering around.
Yeah.
Bell was just wandering around. I saw him right here at the Ruskin last night. He was just hanging out with everybody, just jamming with them. For those of you who don't know Babel, amazing magician.
Yeah.
Of course, Dynamo was just wandering around.
Cyril was around.
Cyril was around. Yeah, Cyril. Cyril did a beautiful job with what was the magician? What was his name? The fire thing.
Handing the torch, literally. It was incredible.
Yeah. So what was his name?
I'm blanking.
I'm blanking on the name too.
We went to bed at 4 a.m.
Yeah. I don't know what the program is. I'd be like, where is it?
We'll figure it out. You guys can leave a comment in the comment section and remind us. But basically, a magician that had been doing this act for years.
Was it 30 years?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Where the fire dances, it goes up your arm, it dances around the table, and all this. He passed it off to a mentee. And that mentee was Cyril Tagayama, so
not a bad mentee to have.
Yeah. Pretty beautiful stuff. That was one of my favorite bits.
It was amazing.
I liked the one competition too. I thought that was really enjoyable.
Yeah, I love the winners. Like the winner on that.
The winner.
The high concept. Fantastic.
Yeah. It was a nice. I think you just said this a minute ago. It was a nice variety. It didn't feel like it was the same act. I didn't see a ton of manipulation, a ton of illusionists, a ton of card tricks.
I think the last performer too, the ballerina, I missed her name, sorry, but she was incredible.
Yeah, it was
because where is that stuff coming from? It's a whole different magic to, it's even a quick change. I don't have a background in that or whatever, but when you see it, it just looks like magic, and I think it's nice that when you're a different category of magician, and then you see that, you can appreciate it in a whole different level.
And on top of all that, you're standing on your tiptoes the whole time because you're doing ballet while you're doing magic.
I'm gonna start doing straight jackets on my tippy toes now. It's gonna be a whole new thing.
Because even like you see like the tutu sticking out, and you're like, oh, that'd be cool. You could load from underneath that, and then she like goes up on one leg and shows there's nothing stuck to the bottom.
And then I was like, oh my god, she produced a flag. Oh fuck, there's another flag.
She produced like 4 umbrellas. She produced
two giant
two
flags.
giant flags. She produced.
Where was she on
so
Friday
many
when it was
cards.
raining? Like,
Yeah.
what's going on?
I know, right?
There was
Yeah, no,
loads of
great.
carrots and stuff, which was really good. And the way she
Amazing.
flung them as well. They were. I was in the
Yeah.
balcony and I was worried.
Oh,
I was
yeah,
gonna get hit.
Mm.
She was scaling cards as good as Jack McBride, if not better. Sorry,
Yeah,
Dan.
yeah.
But it was incredible.
I think letdowns. I don't want to end on a negative note, so we'll do some letdowns, and then we can wrap it up with something positive. Beat the Wand didn't go off this year.
Yeah.
So it didn't go off last year either, but Sam tried to kind of do something to replace it. Didn't happen this year. I don't know what the drama was necessarily behind that decision.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you who don't remember or don't know, maybe Beat the Wand is sort of the After Dark.
Is that what you think it is?
18 over, yeah. Well, no, it's actually exactly what you think it is. It's the 18 and over After Dark sort of Magic competition, and things get just completely out of control.
Yeah.
And someone complained to the council or something, and they had to cut it out. So last year, Sam tried to kind of bring something that was in the spirit of that, but it wasn't that.
And
So
Paul
that
Zennon was
they
involved
could
as
put it
well,
on.
yeah.
Yeah, and I thought it was fun. It wasn't the same, but it was still fun. This year, they kind of didn't really have that, so that was a bit of a letdown for me.
I think it's nice to shake it up as
but-
well. With the kind of outside the main shows and the kind of, let's say fringe shows, let's say, or touring shows, to see them kind of move around in the schedule is kind of cool. I think it keeps it kind of fresh because I suppose you're trying to keep magicians' attention as well, you know, and turns that up. So yeah, I think it's cool that they changed things. It's not guaranteed it's going to be the next year or whatever.
Hopefully to get something that like gets because the thing with the Beat the One wasn't even like how good the show was. It was the buzz and everyone was,
It was
like
the
talking
fun
about it.
everyone
Everyone's
was
like, "Oh, I
having,
can't wait to
yeah.
Beat the One." So
Yeah.
trying to get that sort of like late night show that everyone's talking to and everyone wants to get to is going to
Dave
be.
can't wait to Beat the Wand. You hear that?
Yeah, 100%. Can't. Yeah. Maybe when people talk to me during the day saying they can't wait for Beat the One, they weren't talking about the show.
Yeah.
Stop saying beat the one.
But yeah,
The weather as well. It was the beach fun and it wasn't sunny. It was cold. I didn't know what was going.
it wasn't terrible weather this year.
No, it was
last
actually-
year it was pretty cold. The year before it was snowing back. I remember.
Yeah, and it wasn't as
but-
wet as last year as well.
Yeah,
So like that.
I mean, a couple nights I just went out just in this. I didn't
Yeah,
even
yeah.
have a coat on. So.
Mm.
Because what's hard as well, like with the weather and stuff like that, just not to go into it mad, but
Yeah.
when you're walking from your hotel to the venue, you don't want to be freezing. Then when you get into the venue with 5,000 magicians around, you don't
Oh,
want
my
to
glasses
melt.
are fogged. I had to
Yeah.
take my glasses off for the first half hour that I'm in any room that I walk in because there's so many bodies
Just
around.
like-
So if you're listening,
Steaming
Russ,
everywhere.
if you could just roof Blackpool, that'd be amazing for next year.
Yeah, just fix the weather. And,
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't wish too hard because it might just make your dreams come true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Everybody
thought-
bossing this place.
and one thing for me, I always find that like when you're at the Blackpool Magic Convention, it's like Friday you're like, oh, it's gonna be great, and then Friday it's like really, really good, and then Saturday you're like, oh my god, it's going on forever, and then Friday afternoon comes, and suddenly everyone's saying it's Sunday evening, and you're like, what do you mean it's over? Like it's like I'm just getting into the swing of things here.
You know, I
while
think
it's
one
exhausted.
of the best parts that isn't what you would think like is when you find like the smaller shops. You know, maybe the old brick and mortar shops or whatever from like Belgium or France or wherever, and then you chat to them and they've like handmade this gimmick or they've handmade this paddle or whatever it might be, and it could be a little trinket type thing, but you buy it because it just has a little. They'll never perform it, maybe. But it's just a little collection thing, and I love that. I love when you find the little nugget, and it fools you because we don't get fooled. I mean, not like we should, you know. So that's part of like what you sacrifice when you become a professional magician. You don't get that feeling anymore, and I think we're all just going around the convention going, "Fool me, fucking let's do it," you know.
And it's the thing. It's the mix as well. Like we're all performing professionally, so you're going out and trying to buy stuff for your act. But then we're all hobbyists as well, because you know, like people go, "Oh, you're hobbyist
How
professional,"
many
but you should be a hobbyist too.
bubble
and buy
related
stuff
tricks
like
did you
that.
buy, Dave? Even
I
though
bought-
he's a mentalist.
Yeah,
But
and I bought 3 bubble related tricks, but they're literally just my niece and nephew because they love bubbles. So
Bullshit.
I was like, "That's what it is."
bullshit. He loves bubbles.
I'm just gonna force bubbles on digital force
What
bags.
about you, Steve? What did you buy this weekend?
Some escape stuff. I found like a very old DVD that I wanted. I heard about years ago that was on the Patrick Page stand about Simon Drake and about his TV show. So that was like a nugget, you know, of gold for me. I really wanted to see those shows because they were on Channel 4 when I was like a kid, you know. So I never really got to see all that material, and that was all in one place. So that was amazing. Yeah, I got a few bits. I actually ended up buying maybe like an illusion. Well, I kind of bought it, so I have to talk to the guy.
I kind of bought it.
I bought it.
I bought $100 off me, but I don't know if I'm going to
He
get it.
literally came up to me quite late in the Roskilde and went,
Yeah.
"I think I bought an illusion." So we see that go.
So the reality is, I did buy it. Yes.
Yeah. So,
I'm going to talk to him about it next week. But that's what it's like, you know. You go to all the shows and all the things, and then you meet somebody, and you're talking to somebody, and The people are like, oh, you should come to Belgium with the show. You come to Amsterdam. So that's what it is. It's just a big networking.
It's great
thing.
networking and getting
it's
to
great.
meet people and just hang out. I think because it's like we're in Ireland, which is tiny. So like the population of Ireland is like half the population of London. So it's only 8 million people. So then when you say how niche magic is, and then you're spread out over like it's quite a large countryside for the number of
It's
people.
great to see some of the Irish guys too. Like, we can chat with Keith, and we're all so busy, so we never really get to hang out. And then when you get an opportunity like this, you just want to catch up. You don't want the last thing almost you want to talk about is magic. It's just like how the kids, how's family, how's whatever. So that's just nice too. So it gives us an opportunity to be off the kind of radar.
And we get to see you.
I
know
this is a little screen.
This is our first what's the crack as the three of us in person together.
So from next month onwards, we're gonna fly to LA.
Yeah, we'll make it happen.
Yeah.
My one of my favorite things about being in the Ruskin and everything after, obviously you see friends that you haven't seen since last year. You meet new friends and all that. I just loved seeing the jams go on and watching professionals be professionals,
Yep.
Because and you can tell when it's a professional because they'll be extremely drunk, but they're like they can't stand up. They're like, oh, how are you? And then you're like, hey, you want to show me that one thing that you? Oh yeah. And then all of a sudden they go into their thing like nothing even happened. Like, and then as soon as it's finished, they put it away. Like we were hanging out with Kevin Cunliffe the other night. And he was doing his razor blades, just pulling like 100 razor blades out of his mouth. Like nothing.
While we were chatting. It was in Wise's room with razor blades.
Exactly. And it's like, I love seeing professionals do their thing that they've done for their whole life.
Yeah.
It's muscle memory kicking. And then sometimes when things like you see someone that like you don't know, or like a really young person doing stuff that's just mind blowing. You're just like, I'm done. I'm giving up. I go home. But yeah, it's like sometimes you see all like the big names stuff and they're all doing cool stuff, or like the real workers everyone knows. But then you see just a random person who like this is their first magic convention, and they let me show you something, and you're like, it's like that's the best.
I call them silent assassins because you don't see it coming.
Yeah, absolutely,
100%. Yeah, I thought it was just an overall really really good convention. Really enjoyed it. Didn't sleep enough. Yeah. But that was expected.
But it was too much money. Too, and there was a lot of people. And you know what? It's crazy. Like, I mean, if you went to like maybe a rock and roll convention or like a guitar company convention or whatever in the States, you're not going to have like Mick Jagger just strolling around chatting to people in the pub after.
That's true, yeah.
You see him on stage, he may do a Q&A and a little signing thing, but that's it. But then you come in here and the world's best are here. And they're sharing and they're talking to people, and it's nice to see that,
Yeah, because I say for anyone who hasn't like been to Blackpool or even any of the magic conventions, there's a lot of people like see big people. Even Craic did a video recently where someone said, commented on his video that they saw him at his house, a secret show, and was standing next to him at the bar, but were too nervous to say hi, and they was like, just say hi. So it's like, it's for that, like, if you see a magician you've looked up to, just go talk to them. It's the hobby. We're all hobby people sharing a hobby and that sort of stuff. Just I know a lot of people are like, oh my god, like the super famous people are just hanging out with all of us, and the people they were talking about are only famous to magicians.
Yeah, exactly. I think Michael Amar was chatting about that Magic Live last year. He was like, look, we're celebrities walking through the casino. Everyone knows who we are. The moment we walk outside those doors, no one knows who we are.
You're a rock star for 10 minutes or 20 minutes after your show, and then you're just
which is such a great level of fame because you get to see what it feels like to be like a pop star, but in a very like micro thing, and then you never
constantly. Yeah, because it's funny because depending on how much sleep you've gotten, how hungry you are, or whatever, sometimes it's amazing to see people, and other times you're like, fuck, this is gonna be a lot of fun. But imagine 24/7, that's your life.
Yeah, 100%. Because it seems like it's Dynamo's here and stuff, and the joke people go back to photos, introduce themselves, and then sometimes he might get swarmed or something in the convention, and people are like, oh, he's there. But then it's like, he has that everywhere all the time, not just at the convention, which is just crazy.
Yeah. We were trying to like work out where we could go for like a private drink with him, and he just couldn't figure out anything, and it was just that's just part of it though. It's unfortunate, but he's a household name.
Yeah. Speaking of drinks and going out and just
having
fun.
Let's
talk about. I think this would be a nice note to end it on because this was a blast. So, who wants to tell the story?
Well, I tell it from our point of view. We were coming out of the gala show. We were walking down towards the Ruskin, and we saw bunch of magicians walking up, and you were there. Like, what's
seemed like
going
you were
on?
marching.
With everyone with their backpacks on, looked like they were on their way to school or something.
I was like, is there a protest kicking off? What's going on?
We want
Pete Turner at the front of
we
it.
want it now.
Yeah.
Pete Turner at the front of it, almost like a Pied Piper, bringing like I don't know rats to sea. I
Yeah,
don't know.
so he took us to like a little club crawl into like 2 or 3 different clubs.
Yeah,
Bought everyone like 40 or 50
Yeah.
Jaeger bombs.
Yeah.
It was just like because there was like 50 of us just taking over these clubs.
Mm.
Yeah.
And then there's got to be a video floating around of it somewhere. But
Oh,
we
yeah.
stacked the Jaeger bomb shots up.
Empty club
Dave's
on
head.
Dave's head. We
Like,
made him
about
like a
10, 15 shots or something like
Yeah.
that.
So believe there is unicorns still left in there, and you'll see them in Blackpool.
And
Yeah.
you've seen the videos, I'm sure, floating around already, where they showed the what's it called, the bag
Bag
Oh, yeah,
bag
yeah.
influence to
Yeah.
the cops that were hanging out outside the front of the.
They
outside
were
the-
not impressed.
They weren't happy.
Yeah, they weren't impressed.
But you see that she's like, yeah, I don't want to get roped into this.
Yeah, but it was just
But it was
okay,
fun.
like even like just you see like the generosity of Peter Turner just being like at every club we went to, he was just like
And he was hanging.
50 shots.
To be
Yeah.
fair, you know, when your name gets big enough, you get to that point where you kind of tend to gravitate towards other big names,
Yeah.
and you kind of keep that circle kind of closed. To be fair, he was hanging out with everybody.
Everyone.
Yeah.
I walked past at one stage and I saw him and he was sitting down with a bunch of people who were maybe like 13 to 16 type range and just sitting like in the Ruskin like where we are
Yeah.
and just basically just giving them like a lecture in the bar.
Not a bad lecture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was so like it sets us up. But then he's also off with like his actual friends that he knows all the time hanging out and then he'd
Yeah.
talk to anyone and it was that's
His
the sort
lecture
of
was
vibe
brilliant
of
as
it.
well.
Yeah,
Really eye opening, that kind of reverse thinking and stuff. So like if you caught it, it's amazing. You might put it on DVD or something at some stage, but sometimes we think it's been done, you know, we think we've seen all the tricks, but then it's just a matter of like thinking from either a layperson's point of view or from another angle, and now it's a whole new thing. So he's very good at like making people fill in the gaps themselves. He
Yeah.
just gives you the guide and then you do it
It's
yourself.
that little sprinkle that he was talking about, and that's why
Yeah.
you can see why he's such a good consultant, because people can come to him with something and he just goes, there you go, now it's perfect.
Yeah.
It's that sort of stuff, and that's where you get to talk to people. Like Brent Braun was consulting for Zach Myers, and he was
Yeah,
hanging
I
out a lot
had
and stuff. And like you can see the stuff. Like he has like 17 techniques at a food brand and teller now,
Yeah.
or something, which is just crazy. And it's all these people like consultants. And
Brent
stuff, and
Braun
just
is like
doing that sort
a
of
kind of
stuff.
a powerhouse underneath that because he's very kind of quiet,
Yeah.
but you know there's just a brain there going, I can do this, I can do this. I can
He's
do
always
this.
thinking.
Yeah.
If you ever get a chance to sit down with him and just session, that's exactly like how you described it.
Yeah.
Like you're always a little quiet, and then you get him excited about something, and he'll just
Boom.
unload,
Yeah. Gravitating.
info dump on you all of his
Yeah.
all of these bits of information.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that's the highlight. I think that's the thing. If you are at these and you haven't seen anyone and you have like a name, like DVDs you have or download DVDs, I'm old, downloads that you have, that like, just go talk to them. They'd love
Yeah.
to chat to people and
There's a
stuff.
good chance to see him just strolling around with a coffee or
A pint.
A pint.
yeah,
But yeah, it was really good.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything else that like was like jumping out.
Oh,
at
and
me
big
all
shout
the-
out as well to the up and comings from Ireland, like Killian and Ella.
Yeah,
and, I mean,
100%.
they're killing it, like, you know,
Yeah, Killian
on
did a show
socials and
here as
everything else,
well, which was really
and
good.
did a talk, which unfortunately we missed, but yeah, it was brilliant. But
yeah.
these kids are amazing, you know, and they really are driving it forward, you know. And it's mad when you see the older magicians and stuff queuing up almost to talk to them. It's nice. It's like a full circle thing.
Yeah, even like Ryland is like running. It's pretty
Craig had Rylan on the stand, and I walk up to him. I'm like, dude, you don't even have to hire staff. Just have your kids, because Thea's starting to learn magic too
Yeah,
now.
exactly.
Yeah.
So she's been practicing too. So
That's to give Ryland a break on the stand.
Yeah.
See, yeah.
yeah. So, but I'm
Kids, like,
curious.
you like to eat kids, right?
But I'm curious to know from you, watching at home, if you did make the Blackpool convention, what was your favorite trick? What was your favorite show? What was your favorite lecture? What was just your favorite bit of Craic in general? And if you didn't make it out, what would you have liked to have seen, or what have you seen people buzzing about that was your favorite bit?
And why was Final Destination the particular?
That's true.
That's the real. That's the
A
real.
big shout out as well to Andrew Basso today, who's doing the Houdini Upside Down Water Escape as part of the festival that's just kicking off, which
Yeah.
we're going to miss, unfortunately. But
Best of luck.
best of luck. You're gonna kill it.
And now I get to have a 3.5-hour train ride to London and a 9.5-hour plane ride back to Los Angeles.
And we've got to hang out for another
2 hours.
8 hours till our flight.
Too bad there's nothing in Blackpool to do.
Yeah. I think there's a magic convention on. When's that starting?
Oh, Evolution of Magic as well.
Oh yeah, Evolution of Magic. That was on.
I think it's going to be running here. It's right here in Blackpool between now and next year or whatever, during the summer or whatever. It's going to be running the whole time. So that was Christian and Elizabeth.
Yeah.
And that was an amazing show. I mean, it was mad to walk in there, and obviously there's more magicians here, but there was so many like top magicians there supporting it, which is great. You know, I mean, we need more of that.
Yeah.
More
I'm saying, if you see a magic show in your area, go see it.
Yeah, keep it alive.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, comment below. Let us know what your favorite bits were if you're there, or are you going to be here next year?
Be here.
I'm not picking them up.